Gladiators game number 2. Aster took game 1. Pretty convincing fashion, I have to say. Sumail was unstoppable along with the rest of the cores. I do agree with Tsunami that they will probably die this game at some point. Flawless victory is not the most common of occurrences. But yeah, we get to see some new heroes, Cinderin. Heroes that we forgot existed. Legion Commander, the huge quality of life in that big patch. You can overwhelming odds during the duel. Press the attack no longer works exactly the same way because overwhelming odds is the one that gives you the attack speed now. And then you have Lifestealer, who I agree with. Banana Slamma Jamma, one of my favorite heroes as well. It's been garbage for so long now.
Yeah, I agree with his assessment that he has some good matchups in this game, but I actually still think there are some pitfalls to Lifestealer in this regardless, even if he floats the lane fine. I first of all don't really think he's going to win against IOLC, but we'll see how that one plays out. But later in the game, I still think you are somewhat vulnerable against just dual global, for example. Or against getting jumped by Storm into global silence and then follow up with a duel. Bloodseeker can fight you head on. We've seen games where Bloodseeker gets farmed and he actually just he can beat Monkey King in his own ring, right? Like, you're probably going to be able to fight Lifestealer as well if you have some attack speed items and a basher. So we'll see. Maybe Empower is going to swing the balance of that matchup though, but I gotta say overall I do like what Aster are bringing here to the second game. And again, for Game of Gladiators, playmaking potential, it's all Quinn, right? If Quinn has a bad game like he did in the previous one, their lineup's going to be a little bit stale. So hoping for them that Quinn doesn't get as crushed as he did. Some really good support rotations in that previous game. And I guess that's the silver lining here, or the good news, rather, is the Aster supports don't gank well. Yeah, it's Io and Silencer. So he's probably going to get just a stable 1v1 mid with a bit of bottom.
Well, from the Lifestealer's perspective, I'm just looking at they do have very good infest bomb potential between both the Magnus and the Void Spirit. But I feel like that's not, I don't know, as we're going to see First Blood actually in the bot lane, the lane that everybody was so confident Dyrachyo would get dumpstered in. Celery gets First Blood there against the Legion. See if they can continue with that momentum.
Yeah. Well, that's really good news for gaming. I did not expect them. First of all, I didn't think they were going to win the lane, but secondly, getting First Blood at like level 1 with Lifestealer.
What did he take? Was it Ghoul Frenzy? That's why, Cinderin. Great spell.
Oh. Whatever he did, it worked out. So,
love me some Ghoul Frenzy. But yeah, what is it about Lifestealer, do you think, that he just hasn't been top tier for a long, long time? Because I remember, and I don't know if it aligns perfectly, but my memory is that when they changed Feast to not be extremely good against strength heroes specifically, because there was a time where you'd pick it as like a counter as Monet. Gone on a bit, although the Magnus is the one taking the brunt of the damage. The Blood Grenade's still on him as well, so that's going to be the kill going the way of Aster. As Monet getting leapt on by Tofu, just needs a couple more right clicks to finish the job, and he'll get it.
He did not have anywhere to hide there. Very awkward situation there, so 1-for-1 trade. Yeah, I think the change to Feast was definitely a really, really big one for Lifestealer's drop-off in popularity, but I think on top of all of that, it's also just a matter of meta, right? Like the pacing of the game. I would say even something as simple as Pavis actually makes the hero struggle a lot more, right? The rise of Crimson Guard, because Lifestealer went from doing, he went from doing fewer attacks that hit really hard to doing more attacks that hit softer. And the problem with that is it's way easier to itemize against a lot of soft attacks because Vanguard, because Crimson, because Pavis, all this stuff blocked.
Oh, Blood Grenade onto XXS. He's actually channeling the Lotus, knowing that he's going to die anyway. Might as well take away some resources from Gaimin potentially. As Baboka now getting slowed perpetually by Ghoul Frenzy, Blood Grenade, and Frost Blast. My goodness, Dyrachyo, the monster on the Nyx.
How in the world is this lane going this way? I mean,
they have slow upon slow upon slow.
I mean, it's one of two things, right? Either our read on the lane is just completely wrong, or Astro dropping the ball. But at the end of the day, the outcome's the same. Gaimin are very much winning the safe lane that we had as a concern, and I think at this point, honestly, you're kind of just coasting it. I don't think this is winnable anymore for IO and LC. Lifesteal has a 700 net worth advantage. He's gonna beat you on items and just be able to trade. I'm assuming he wants to, yeah, he is gonna rush that armlet. So once that Helm of Iron Will comes in, I think any hope for LC to bully him is gone out the window.
That's Sumail taking heavy damage, but Baboka is there with the link up as Quinn. He's only level 4.
Very greedy
Aether Remnants there as well.
Oh my god.
He's getting perpetually right-clicked, and that is the death of Quinn. Did that actually cost him his life? I was going to see the Ghoul Frenzy come into play against him, and Frost Blast on top, but there is the press the attack that he's finally been able to level, then he's hit level 3.
I'm pretty sure he died because he turned to last hit, right? They got in range and they stuck on him after that, so that was a pretty costly CS to get there for Quinn. I understand that he thought he would get away with it too. I was actually surprised they managed to run him down.
Oh my goodness. Oh. Press the attack, Blood Grenade again, and the Ghoul Frenzy is going to be enough to get Dyrachyo yet another kill. What a spell.
I mean, it's also possible that about the whole dynamic in this lane that, I mean, obviously my perspective on it, and I think Kezu's as well, is a little bit of a history perspective. I don't know if he's played the matchup much in this patch, but I think this Blood Grenade is actually changing the dynamic of the lane so much in their ability to just stick on the LC, because what happens is you Frost Blast her, she purges that off with Press the Attack and gets some move speed, but then you Blood Grenade and Ghoul Frenzy, and you actually get to stick. Where in the past, Legion could create enough distance and just get away. It really changes the dynamic of the matchup so much, and if you're XXS, you can't be feeling good about look at this consumables. What the hell?
That's quite a bit of money.
This cannot be right. What?
That's quite a bit. That's the Blood Grenade.
Yeah.
That's a lot of Blood Grenades.
No. How could he spend 1,200?
Well, let's a couple tangos, a couple salves, and then the 2 Blood
Grenades. Damn, it's expensive to be a support nowadays.
Sumail's level 6. He can zip. He's going to go for Quinn. Doesn't have any way to get out of this, at least not yet. Going to try to turn his sights, but it's not going to matter.
-2.
Sumail with another kill going the way of this Storm Spirit, which is his classic hero, of course. And second game in a row that Quinn is kind of getting dumpstered. But a lot of it has to do, and in game 1 is especially the case, is they're going to be able to clean up Siamese Cat at the very least, but the rotations from Aster are the reason that this has gone so well. The Curse doing quite a bit, but Tofu will live.
Still looking really solid for Game In so far. Again, the big win is coming from that bottom lane. That's the only lane that they've truly won, right? So Lifestealer is 1,700 net worth ahead. I can't believe I'm saying that minute 7. When does that ever happen? He's 1,700 net worth ahead against the Legion. Void Spirit is losing to Storm by 1.
Oh! Not quite there, but the Sinister Gaze, because they brought another member of Game In just to ensure that Sumail does not get off to the same start that he did last game. Finally getting that kill.
Yeah, that triple up really, really nice to bring Quinn back into the game. And as far as the top lane goes, it's a wash. Like, Magnus and Bloodseeker are both just farming. Magnus with the Vanguard, it's very hard for Monet to bully out, but at the same time, it's also hard for Ace to put any meaningful pressure on the Bloodseeker, who's just supposed to kind of heal on every CS. So yeah. They're kind of both just chilling up here. Looks like there will be some move coming in from Sumail on the Storm.
Yep. Sumail.
Hold back on the Vortex here, really nice. He needs to make sure that it will be too late to TP for Ace.
Yep, nice pick off. Arrow does hit, but to no real avail. That opens up Quinn to potentially go for Siamese Cat, but he doesn't have another Astral Step until now. Don't want to go any further with the low HP. 8-minute rune coming up. Celery's securing the bottom.
Quinn looks different from how I remember.
What does that mean?
So does Dyrachyo.
Oh, okay.
Oh. There he is again.
Yeah, Quinn definitely can't grow a beard. That's for sure. He's hairless all over, other than his head. So I've been told, at least. But yeah, Quinn's still behind on the XP.
You're talking.
No, but he does. The arrow does connect this time. Frost Blast to follow. Sinister Gaze, Permastun on the Storm. Monet's made his rotation now. He gets off the... Ooh, Quinn!
Oh!
Did he die in Fountain? gracious me, oh my, that feels just awful.
Hey, he didn't lose in.
That's true. That is accurate. But at least they get Sumail first, if you're a Gaming Gladiators fan. They can see that they have definitely made some adjustments from game one, because it felt like once Quinn got ganked in that game number one, they just didn't really have answers, or they didn't try perhaps as hard as they should have to kill Sumail.
It was definitely more complicated as well. In this game, they have the tools for sure with both the Mirana and Lich ganking together. It's been really cool to see in this game how much emphasis both teams have put on trying to solve this mid lane. And so far, Gaming Gladiators definitely pulling out a little bit ahead. And they also have so much freedom because both of their side lanes are completely safe to play alone. Magnus is in no threat. If he gets ruptured, he can TP. I mean, sure, he did die to a storm rotation, but that's going to happen. He won't die to a support rotation. So, and Duracho is just going to solo push this bottom tier 1 with no cares in the world. What's going to happen? He could get dueled, but I mean, doesn't look like he's overly concerned with it.
Duel me, please, please.
Surely, okay. If he was going to keep going there. Oh, XSS Life. Fortunately, I found the best neutral item in the game, Seeds of Serenity.
Yes. Yeah. Global Silence is going to be popped. And it looks like the Mirana is going to be the first to fall in this little engagement. Sinister Gaze onto Sumail, but he still has plenty of mana to zip around if he wants. Try to focus on Stellar, who's keeping himself alive with that damage mitigation of the Frost Shield. Dust. Gonna be able to spot this out. Sumail gets RP'd though. There's the Aster set to follow with the Chain Frost. That's the third death for Sumail again. Boboka drops as well. Quinn's gonna get ruptured, but he just TP's out, and this time he will be okay. Lots of action in this mid lane, and Gaimin have gotten the better of another fight, which gives him the 3K lead. And Sumail has just, after that first kill on Quinn, so much pressure applied to him, and now he's died 3 times in a row.
I really like how Gaming Gladiators played that skirmish. They're like kind of baiting Sumail to ultimately jump on them, and they instantly Lich Sinister Gaze him into RP. Sumail was playing around there. He wanted to try to bait out RP by jumping and then immediately jumping again, but didn't account for this play to be able to come in from Celery. Obviously, he's already forced the Sinister Gaze here, but the cooldown on that spell is not that long. So when this extends and he jumps up again... Actually, wait, did they even gaze?
No,
it was just a Remnant?
It looked like a Remnant.
It was a Remnant. Okay,
has the same
there's
animation.
no way it was ready again.
Yeah.
Yeah, so... I mean, either way, they just set it up really nicely so the RP didn't have to come first, and Sumail getting caught by that just seals the deal with a nice Chain Frost from Celery, so well done. And that's a huge lead now all of a sudden. This is the makings of a stomp at this point. 5,000 net worth, minute 11. You're playing with a Lifestealer carry who generally does not win his lane like this, but is totally trashing XXS in this game. To say the least, he's doubling him. Minute 12. I don't...
Yeah.
That's a true rarity right now in Dota, that lanes are this lopsided for carry versus offlaner.
Yep, and Duracho obviously has had that Armlet for quite a while, and Radiance will be the pickup. So Armlet into Radiance. Still a decent away from it as they get the Sinister Gaze and the arrow into Sumail, and that is another death. Global Silence even being used just to try to mitigate anything coming from the side of Gaimin, but that ends up being a waste as well.
They've really had his number this game. Just such a good job from Gaming shutting down Sumail. Night and day to the last game. Sumail went deathless and just dominated, and Quinn was struggling.
That's a Midas, by the way, on the Legion XXS.
Yeah.
Desperation mode, I think. And Duracho comes to play.
I mean, notice how Duracho is playing bottom. He's cutting between tier 2 and tier 3 minute 11. Like, it genuinely doesn't care. This is like nothing's going to stop him. How many heroes do they want to gank him with? I mean, it's just extremely oppressive playstyle coming out from Gladiators, who are just giving them no quarter at all.
From the Lifestealer games that you've seen, which is not that many.
Recently anyway.
What's the build? Is this a normal build?
Either you go Radiance here or Deso, mostly. And
have you seen any Harpoon? I was wondering if that's potentially a thing.
Yes, theoretically it's not too bad, but I feel like Lifestealer just gets more value out of the other build-ups. The Deso is easily the best single target damage bang for a buck this hero can get, and the Radiance is like almost a hybrid item because it also gives you some tankability. This is probably a dead IO here.
Sumail wants to try to save his IO.
It might be okay.
We'll do so for now, but Sumail's getting it pretty low on the mana pool. We'll find Tofu on the high ground, trying to TP out, and will be fine, actually. That was close.
Pavis MVP for both teams there.
Indeed.
Yeah, very good. I think so. Radiance, I don't know if Radiance is really truly better than Deso here. I think there's a case for both items. Maybe his mindset is Quinn and Ace are also going to do damage. So by going Radiance, you get some sort of a hybrid build that gives you some tankiness because of the mischance and evasion, and you still output very well. It's a good farming item on the hero. The hero doesn't have any sort of inherent cleave, so Radiance is going to help you farm waves faster. It's going to help you farm camps faster and keep your progression going. So I think it's completely reasonable. I don't know what else you get aside from these two items, really, on this hero. Not really too much space for creativity on that lifesteal.
Well, there was a point in the last patch where people were actually going Ags.
Yeah, it's like a very niche counter to a hero like, say, TA, where you want to invest and disarm her. But in this game, I don't think that's worth it at all.
Monet gets caught off guard. There's the Global Science to try to keep him alive. And Quinn, well, he's ruptured for the time being. Gets the Astro Step. Monet looks to be dead, but will it cost Quinn his life? Yes, it's a 1-for-1, and now they're going to try to turn this around onto Tofu as well. Sumail run out of mana.
Tofu might actually live here if he plays this well.
Well, has...
All right, arrow out the butt, a classic.
Those are the most powerful ones, in my experience. Tofu, a couple more right clicks will do it. So across the board, a 2-for-2. As Dyrachyo was able to take out the IO after relocating back.
It's like I'm watching Brood. He's literally just playing the lane in the jungle next to it completely freely.
Yeah,
and
what a dream.
He's just built a house down here.
It's like playing against bots. Just get free farm.
Yeah, these bots beat your last game, though. I gotta turn down the difficulty after the previous one. The last game was bot unfair.
Well, they got the Aether Remnant trying to set up the Harpoon Skewer, and XXS is dead. The question is, his Midas is on cooldown for 60 seconds, so it's safe, Cinder.
I have no idea how Aster can play the map right now. I'll be honest with you. Just completely, to put it bluntly, I feel like they're just screwed. Like, you have to find some sort of... The problem is their lineup rides on Storm or Legion initiating and then either relocating or globaling or both to overwhelm the enemy, but that's a vision-based strategy, and you just have no map. The whole map is just gaming Gladiators. They've taken all these towers. They have full control. They're pushing out the lanes. Lifestealer is a constant thorn in their side. And Quinn, whenever he jumps someone, it seems like they just die. So it's really, really difficult for Aster. You got to dig deep here, and you don't have team fight, right? Your lineup can't team fight really, except starting with a jump into that silence. So any sort of skirmish, I'm just inherently favoring the side of game, and if they have a decent amount of heroes to connect with.
Yeah, well, Dyrachyo did finish the Radiance a bit ago and is actually opting to go for his Shard, which, I mean, this Shard is good.
It is good.
They do have press the attack, and they don't really have high HP targets necessarily that would take full advantage of this. But I'm a little confused why it would be prioritizing this early. As XXS keeping out.
Takes him 65% down in the TP duration. All right. Bit of a
go
go here.
Wants to find a pick off. There's a Global Science to help him out a bit.
He's so
Pavis,
tanky.
Keeping him alive. Frost Shield keeping him alive. RP only onto a couple of heroes, but that's more than enough. As Monet trying to run away with all that move speed. Looks like he's going to live, but Sumail not so lucky.
I don't think XXS makes it out of this one alive either. Oh, maybe actually.
Yeah, he dodges the Aether Remnant. But he gets slowed by the Frost Shield. Press the attack's not going to be enough. Another kill goes the way of Gaiman. The Harpoon onto Baboka, Skewer, and down goes Io. So 4 dead, almost a full team wipe. I mean, the Bloodseeker lived with less than 100 HP, it looked like. And Dyrachyo just back to the old...
Oh, I live here after all. Oh, he might actually... If he finds an angle on Monet? No. Not.
Nah.
But he will find Pichu, though.
Yeah. Oh, does he have it? He can just stand
This
here.
is why he bought Radiance. The Shadow Amulet hard counter.
Like, you're literally not worth the effort to try and kill right
Not worth my time.
This dragon is more important than you.
Yeah. The worst thing is it's true, too.
But yeah, tell me, what am I missing with the open wounds being important enough to prioritize this early?
I mean, it's honestly just a feels good ability to have. Sure, the enemy team might have like a dispel or whatever, but it gives Lifestealer plays that he doesn't usually have access to. He can set up himself for success about killing, like running down a silencer. He can fight and force the Bloodseeker, right, to turn and fight him because he can't create enough distance. I honestly just think it's a pretty damn good shard. And then there's the secondary point of it that you talked about with amplifying your teammates as well. It's just a good item. You're going to see it put to use here.
Indeed. Rupture comes out. Monet gets arrowed, and that will be the end of him. Meanwhile, Gaimin, we're taking out Roche with just a couple other cores on the other side of the map. And this is certainly looking like a shellacking.
No other way to put it, really. The question is how many hats, umbrellas, or sombreros are we talking, or monocles, or...
Yes, the monocle tier, of course.
I think, so the thing for Aster is the comeback plan is extremely simple. It's just very low probability, but the good news is it's not particularly hard to wrap your head around what you have to do. But you need to, the challenging part is finding the right situation for it, right? You only really have one play.
Gotcha, he wants to focus down Baboka. There's the open wounds to try to take him out before that relocate comes through. They'll be successful. They get the silencer as well, so a 2-for-0. And this feels like Gaming Gladiators are just going to go into methodical mode, where if they see an enemy, they'll kill them, but otherwise they're just going to push down these lanes. And
Aster have to jump someone with Storm. He's probably living here.
He's fine.
Aster have to jump someone with Storm, Global, and kill them. It's that simple. There's no other play. Your Legion is not going to initiate for you. He has no game, so he doesn't have a dagger. He's not even close to it. He still has 1,000 to go with his Blade Mail Midas build. So you have like no initiative on the map aside from Sumail. So it's all eggs in that basket. It's trying to make moves with him. And if that doesn't work, then it is what it is. Sometimes you just get crushed, and the game plan in this game just didn't work.
Yep, XXS. Well, this time he will die. I mean, these are the kind of things that Aster has to do. It's either that or you just sit in base and say GG.
God, Magnus is so... He has 400 damage and 3.5k health.
Universal heroes.
He's so crazy, man.
Perfectly balanced.
This tower is a goner in a moment. Duracho waiting for his creep wave to arrive to finish it off. And you would imagine Gaming Gladiators could honestly go high ground here, because the side of Aster don't have any good team fight and they don't have any repositioning, right? So
when is the soloing?
Yeah, there's no displacement. They can't stop it. There's nothing stopping them.
Oh my goodness. Monet arrow, nope, but gets off the BKB and then dies. Okay, well that's their position 1. Fortification popped again. Sumail trying to take out the creeps. Still 2 remain. There's the skewer back, and XXS finds his way to the grave. 20k lead essentially here for Gaming Gladiators.
All right, Shannon, I put some thought into it. I think they're fucked.
Oh, yeah?
That's my conclusion. I ran the simulations, and all of them...
All of them? Surely there's a disconnect where your computers just never turn back on for some reason. Like an EMP goes off in your boot camp.
Well, Gaben has run the simulations as well, and he does not agree that it's over.
Okay.
But it's close.
2%, really?
Yeah.
That can't be up to date.
I don't see those 2% right now. I must say.
Yeah.
It's a very lopsided
That's how
game.
bad Lifestealer is. you're up by this much. Like, you know what? There's still a chance.
Oh, Sumail.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
He gets a DD. All right, guys, last fight. And Tofu is randomly hounding him and arrows him on the TP back. Reload to bring Sumail back. I mean,
but you've gotten Mega'd.
They're Mega'd before he comes home.
Monet, he just came back from the fountain. He's going to have to go back. He'll be able to walk there himself.
Oh,
RP onto 3.
All right.
And that should do it. But they'll buy back in the game for one last fight, it looks like. Sumail able to zip away. Has to walk the rest of the way to his fountain, though. Boca getting pursued and destroyed. I think that might have been the first infest of the entire game as GG's come out. And Game and Gladiators absolutely destroy Aster in game number 2.
Curb stomp.